base.
It's a dragon I'll never catch. It's a dragon I'll never catch.
But some dragons just aren't. I don't think they're meant to be domesticated.
You're listening to the Makey Words Podcast.
You're finding out 10 years late. What do you think about that? It's the business model. It's the business model. We just looked at each other, horrified.
Well, let's see. What's happened since the last one? Did we announce the tour after the last time?
Yes.
Or be?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we, as far as if anyone's wondering what the deal is with support, I think we basically have all of our support locked in except for one little span of time where we thought we were going to have one band, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. We can't say the names here, but I can say that we know the names. And it's going to be like multiple. Well, I think it's okay for us to say we're bringing Redwood over to be with us for the whole tour from the UK.
And part of it, I think it's also okay to say that for part of it, we're having Aerosmith.
I
think that's fine.
Obviously.
Okay.
They already announced.
Yeah, they've announced. They jumped the gun.
Yeah.
But we're going to have, it's not just going to be one direct support for the entire tour. There's going to be regional direct support for like a week at a time.
What the fuck?
Oh, I hear him, Max.
Here he is.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Oh, you guys all sound like robots. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's because we're doing sort of a robot thing. You're late, but now you know.
Yeah, if you were here on time, you would have understood that this is a robot.
I was desperately trying to be there on time.
Oh,
okay,
sure.
become a robot, though.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else tour specific that we could even talk about at this point.
Picking a set list is going to be a joke because we're gonna try and represent everything we've ever done, but tell you right now, the color spectrum, trying to even represent a swath of the color spectrum is its own show.
Well, so I don't know if you remember, but you had posted on the feed here asking people their top 2 color spectrum songs to see live. I have since figured out that information.
What are they?
Oh, hold on. That's a oh, is it this notebook? You guys remember these?
Yes.
Yeah.
But so the 2 songs that were voted for most, is this also not the notebook? There's too much. This is ridiculous.
Nick, I like that you're repping merch.
You know what this is from, Max? You should.
Yeah, it's the well, that's the artwork that we used for the Europe tour.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
if
the,
we sold
it's
that.
the Freaky Deacon, in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a character played by Solacito. He was going to be doing a lot of dancing.
There it is. It's looking like Lillian and
That's a boring one. That is boring because we played that song so much.
And Look Away.
Yeah.
Which one's Look Away?
Banana, bum, bum, banana, bum.
The cruise ship from hell.
I thought there was.
I can't remember when you did that. I remember you referencing it as either like a cruise ship from hell or a sinking cruise ship.
I think it felt like something bad on a cruise ship for sure.
Something
I don't
bad.
remember what it was, but it was
haunted. I don't know.
Drunken. There is like a cruise ship vibe to that song, not a Caribbean vibe, but a cruise ship vibe.
A debaucherous,
Distinctively
like Eyes
luxurious.
Wide Shut kind of.
I wonder if they ever go on cruises.
The Eyes Wide Shut people?
But I mean, like, if they do their Eyes Wide Shut shtick on a cruise ship.
Oh, for sure.
That would just be so funny while the cruise staff is there, like, with their card readers and things like that.
Have we ever
Just
played
walking
that
around,
live?
like, during the buffet. What?
Look
Have we
Alive
ever played that
or
one
Look
live?
Away?
Nick, I want you to think back to when we played every single song from that record. It's on, I mean...
He means on a tour.
He's just waving goodbye to memories all the time.
He means on a tour, right? Right?
Yeah, not on a tour. just for the
Irrelevant.
whole show.
You have played it before, both in the studio and out. We played a tour's worth of music when we rehearsed for the Color Spectrum show.
Yeah.
We absolutely, that was like probably
like
the
2
worst
tours
time
worth
of
of
all
music.
of our lives.
It was
Well,
awesome.
not the worst time in my life.
It was-
but definitely
I
the-
was kidding about that, but no, it was not awesome for me. It was not awesome for me.
It was the
It's
most
not
sure-
no,
intense
not that it was
practice.
awesome, but it's
In
awesome that we
hindsight,
were
it's
able
awesome.
to do it. Yeah,
In hindsight,
like,
it's awesome. It was a great achievement for the band, and it was like it was a big test, and having Andy there too, that was like the cake. And also, wasn't Cameron there?
Andy.
Cameron
Oh,
was there
Andy.
as well.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
that
man.
shit was amazing. Having them come out, it's really funny because if there's one person we all know, I think that Andy is the number one dude who could switch from having a guitar to having no guitar as a frontman.
Well, I
feel
think
like
it was
that dude
before
is
he lost
so-
a ton of weight, and he was a little bit like.
No, he was losing the weight when we recorded it. He had already lost it when we like.
Oh, okay.
It was actually kind of a problem while we were recording it to get his attention while he was losing weight because he had
Gotcha.
he had like doctors, nutritionalists. He had a personal trainer. He
What a
had
life.
all of that shit going. Dude, are you kidding? I envy it. I'm so jealous of that. If I could have like a personal trainer for a month, all this would be dark brown again. I know it.
If the gray is something that you notice constantly and upsets you, have you decided on potentially dyeing it? Not even to its
No.
natural color, but just something that you don't see. And
Sometimes I do think about
instantly-
dyeing my hair like turquoise.
yeah,
Or-
that's what I mean.
Or
It's
like
something that
periwinkle. But then
that you
again,
can
like
see
then I
that
have
doesn't
to
bum you
live.
out.
I have to live as like the cotton candy demigod for a certain period of time. You
there's
know?
something about your gray though, where like it just works so well
Thanks.
that
But I was even looking at our acoustic set that you and I did on Pillar. I was looking at a still from that, and it was like, I thought I was super gray then. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this all the time
so that's what I'm
until it's
getting
pure
at.
white and I'm Edgar Winter. Like
I think
then it's just gonna be like I really thought I was gray then, but I didn't know what real gray was. But I'm there for sure. Like I have more grays than my mom, and she's 107 years old.
Oh, I'm so bummed. My mom started to try and go naturally gray, and I guess that's a process.
It's tough.
I
It's
just thought
tough.
I thought that you just let it go, but apparently, at least for women, or specifically
Or
my
for
mom,
your mom.
for my mom and her group of people, there's like a whole thing. You have to dye it like this weird purple silver, and then you let that grow out, and you let your grays, and then you keep
What
getting
you're
like these
describing
treatments.
is like the invisible way of doing it, because you could also
Yeah.
just say "fuck it" and be like,
Just do
"Whatever
it."
happens, happens."
Well,
Keep
that's what I
that
thought she
hard
was
line,
doing.
and then it just shave my head. I think gray looks beautiful on women. I think that
I
looks
told her the
absolutely
same
beautiful
thing. I
on
was like,
women.
"Mom, you look
So,
like
like,
you
it looks
look like a
beautiful on most
beautiful
people.
woman, like a beautiful older woman. You're
Yeah.
not like you're not faking anybody out by dyeing it
Also,
blonde."
like, what situation do you think you need to be in where somebody mistakes your age so drastically? Like,
And
what-
solely based on your hair.
You're trying
no
to
other
get carded.
information.
You're
And,
trying to
like,
get carded at a bar.
I
to
don't
feel
know why
young.
people don't see that. I think that's the number one thing that letting the gray happen naturally almost obfuscates the other aging. And I think that if I was to dye my hair any single color and you didn't have all of this going on, my face would look so old in comparison.
I know
Because
you-
when I
yeah.
think of like whenever I see, you can always tell like when somebody just dyed their hair and they shouldn't. You can tell when somebody's hair should be gray in actors and like artists and stuff like that, and it always looks like, I just don't understand the message. And like, is it really as simple as they are that afraid of aging? I'm afraid of aging, but like I have self-respect somehow with all of this.
Now that I've calmed down a bit, I just had a full-blown fucking panic attack on the way here because I was trying to just turn left at this stoplight and the line keeps getting longer and longer. And I'm looking and there's green lights and no one's fucking moving. Somebody had stalled out in the intersection of Race and First. And there
So
was
like a main fucking intersection.
yeah, like a really main intersection. And there was something about like feeling bad about missing last week and being like, there's no way that anyone would fucking believe me that this is why I'm late, but this is why I'm fucking late. Ah!
Well, you can always do what Solicito does and just fucking pop on your phone, sit there in absolute silence wherever you are, and you know what I mean? I mean, he's done all kinds of things. He's cleaned a whole deer while we were on stream. Nope.
You know what's awesome I've noticed? Like the crying fits become like way more violent but quick. They're like, it's no longer like I'm gonna pout all day. It's like I'm just gonna power cry for 2 minutes.
So
And then you get on with the day.
Out of solidarity,
You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying?
I do. And out of solidarity, I will say that. I don't know if this is the right topic because I do think this is depression based for both of us. But I'm right there with you. But I find it more alarming because it's like, oh, I'm fine all of a sudden. But that's just, whatever.
You just wail really quick.
I don't want to dive into it.
Out. What are we talking about?
It's okay. You made a good decision.
Cries.
Just having a nice, good power cry rather than being like a mopey fuck about something that's bugging you. You just like punch the ceiling and freak out like a child for 2 seconds, and then it's like, okay, whatever that thing that was like giving me heartburn all day, it just went away, and it's nice. It's efficient.
I don't need to punch anything. I can take some deep breaths, but I do kind of cry at everything all the time. I think that's just like the sensitive and also being
I'm
older,
the same way. I can't watch a commercial.
More estrogen than testosterone in my body.
It's just the phrase "at everything all the time" is what made that funny for me.
Yeah, well, it's true.
You guys know I'm just constantly crying.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the subject of the cry. I think there's some things that can't really be worked out just by like punch dancing your way through them necessarily. Like
I punch dance my way through to the grave. I can
promise you, objectively, there's things that happen that you can't punch dance your way through.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
Affect you on such a deep level that there's no distancing yourself from them. There's no like, okay, I'm okay now because I got angry about it.
No, I'm talking about the day-to-day.
You have small enough issues.
That shit 100%. Where it's like, I have to fucking do this thing again, or I know my day's going to be like this again, or I know these things are coming my way again. I'm just saying.
I'm not talking about big things.
I think that those things haven't really necessarily affected me for a very long time. Whether that's by fortune or by like habit that I've
fortitude,
made myself, callousness. So now my threshold for what moves me to that place is definitely like a significant higher bar, and I have found no relief from any of those sorts of feelings, no matter what sort of like, well, I guess I've only really tried the one medication, but like the one sort of like, I think it's antidepressant is like, I don't know if it's because I know I'm taking it, but like, it doesn't seem to work. There's this part of me that's just constantly aware that like, is so aware of myself that in the moments where I'm like, oh, usually you'd be a lot more upset about this. It's like, well, yeah, you're not because you're taking this.
Yeah,
and then I'm like,
you're
well,
gray
fuck.
now.
Well, then I'm still that. No, I'm not gray. I'm great, but I'm also so self-aware that I'm remembering the reason. And it's not because like I've worked something out. Do you know what I mean? It's because like I just am like, well, yeah, it's because I have this special thing that just turns it off. So for me personally, even though that is a net positive for sure, but the downside is the self-awareness when you're still like, well, I know that it's coming from a source other than myself, which I guess is like a little bit snobby but I don't mean it that way. It just cheapens it.
I know
The
exactly
joy
what you mean. It's
a little
not
bit.
true joy. It's not.
Yeah, it's not, because you're
you
aware.
never will experience it.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
always kind of second guessing. Like, is this the drugs?
Yeah,
Is
for
it,
sure.
you know, is this the thing? Like, am I actually happy, or what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and even if it isn't, you're stuck kind of asking that question. Even
Yeah.
if you really are having like a purely natural chemical moment of elation,
Yeah.
there's still this part of you that's going to question, is this because of this, or is this because of me? That's just like, I think that's a question you probably, to properly enjoy the effects of those medications, you kind of have to like teach yourself not to ask. But I don't know how.
But I think how do I word this? I think we are exactly the kind of people that end up on antidepressants because we are willing to question why we're happy at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure some people are just like, woo, I'm feeling great, and then coast through their day. Where like like you would be like, this is suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling any stress at the moment.
Yeah.
What in the fucking world is going on?
It's like, yeah. It's
We're all premeditative. Is that what it is? We're all waiting for the next bad thing, and you're like, something good is happening. When's the bad thing?
It's a calm before
no,
the storm
it's
thing.
even better for me. It's like something bad is happening, but you're doing okay. That's the feeling.
yeah.
I don't even get to something good is happening. It's just like, yeah, look, the situation around you is precisely as you left it before you put this pill in your mouth. But now you're doing okay. You're still good. And then, that's what it is for me.
Like, you know, people were, they still kind of are, I guess, talking about how to crush it at work. Like, you just microdose a little bit of LSD or psilocybin or
Yeah,
whatever. and
Jesse, remember?
You're gonna fucking crush it all day. And somebody's
And
got
here
this
we
bit,
are.
I can't remember who it is, but they had heard about this, and at the time they were landscaping for their dad's business, and he woke up, microdosed some mushrooms, and then he got called in that he didn't need to go today, and then he was just sitting on his couch like, am I crushing it right now? Is this?
I don't
this is
even have
all
to
good,
come in.
right? I don't even have to come in. I think the mushrooms are working. I'm fucking crushing it. I'll
I
just
feel like the-
play video games the rest of the day.
I think the microdosing thing, and I don't have the information. I'm not saying it does.
I've
doesn't
done
work or anything like that.
It works great, but it's temporary.
It does. It seems like that was a fad, or that was a trend. Like there was a stretch of time that was a thing everyone was trying, and so you heard about it a disproportionate amount.
Yeah, now it's just microdosing ketamine, right? Isn't that what
Yeah.
it is?
I have no fucking idea how anyone.
I'm
is
getting Reddit
alive.
ads for ketamine, and I'm like, I'm being tested.
Is
Yo,
that
guys,
true?
I don't know if you remember, but on this
Is that
podcast,
true?
like a year ago,
Yes.
I was getting fucking targeted ads for ketamine, and I told
And
you guys about
I
it on this
clicked it.
podcast.
I clicked
What? What?
Yeah,
I
you
tried to
Exactly.
sign up.
Run
You can get
your
all the
internet
way
service.
to the end, and then they're like, "We kind of need a doctor's note." I'm like, "Yeah, listen, fine."
That's wild. I get ads for the like, use this journal when you're high. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Really?
Yeah, let me definitely buy this
You get targeted
From
ads
this.
to get new journals?
specifically for when you're high.
See, now I must have just been added to the ketamine thing because somehow now the algorithm knows I'm on antidepressants. So it's like before, only Max is going to see that because I think at the time he was the only one who ever fucked with those things.
I was the only one on antidepressants.
So he's
Yeah.
getting hit up with ketamine ads left and right. And we're all like, that's not in my
Oh.
algorithm.
So maybe
And
there's
then I
a,
took I somehow the algorithm knows, and they're like, let's get him the strong shit. Let's get him the good shit.
Yeah, well,
Do
they
it
all have your
yourself
medical
ketamine
data.
therapy.
They have your everything, man. Isn't
I
that
know.
crazy? Do it yourself ketamine. Did I ever
Like,
tell
how
That's
the
you?
not
fuck
good.
am I going to be able
That's
to
a-
stop
that-
myself from more of a good thing? How am I
That's
going to
an
be
ad
like,
for a
I feel
drug
the
dealer.
best I ever have. Everything is perfect, and I still have 10 doses sitting right here of perfection. I'm going to feel like I'm on the limitless pill.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
going to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see everything.
Yeah.
I
Oh
know
my God.
everything.
I'll convince myself by the morning I could make $1 billion on the stock market if I only get 8 doses deep. Oh, I don't know. But like it is weird. Because I remember hearing about professional ketamine therapy for years. But the fact that and like I'm hearing about the ketamine epidemic at the same time I'm reading that same word in Reddit ads.
Yeah,
and like,
it's wild.
It's so confusing. It's so
This is
confusing.
bad, but buy it.
Yeah,
it.
I
This
would
is pretty
also
bad. I don't know,
argue-
but
this
buy
is
it, buy
the
it, buy
biggest dilemma in the country.
it. Buy
But
it.
you need to buy it. Please buy it. Bring
I
us
would
your
argue that
doctor's
it's not
name.
Did I ever tell you
anything
guys
that is
about-
called therapy,
Yeah.
if that is just preceded by do it yourself,
No.
That's
Yeah.
not.
I've been
it's all right.
trying that my whole
It doesn't
life.
matter exactly. That's why you need the therapy. Actually, is
Yeah.
because you've been doing it yourself the whole time. But it doesn't matter if it's ketamine.
Yeah,
if
there's
it's,
no I
I don't
in
know,
therapy,
whole
right?
milk. What? Nice, dude.
What?
There's no I in therapy.
That's someone makes that
Oh.
shirt. They have to. That has to
Oh,
exist.
that's so deep.
Thank you.
'Cause
I
if
would
not,
like
we're-
that shirt, but I guarantee it exists.
It has to.
What'd you say, Nick?
I don't see anything about it.
Me neither. I think this is a T-shirt to be made. The
There's
closest
no
thing is.
iTherapy.com.
Therapy.
Go
I
to
think
it
the
right now.
closest thing is there's no crying in physical therapy, which is not even fucking close to as good. There's no I in
Look,
therapy.
I don't know if that sentence really has meaning, but
but-
at least
We're buying those shirts. Well, we get them for free because they're ours at this point. But I think they're good shirts to make.
Stop me if I've done this before, but did I tell you guys about when I got dosed with ketamine at the bar when I was working at the bar?
the coolest night at the bar. You said
Yeah, the coolest night. No, this was like it was bullshit. I was working, and
bullshit.
Whatever.
Like it's not true.
yeah, it's bullshit in that I'm making all
This
of
is bullshit. But I was working.
No, so I was working and whatever. We get to the end, and usually at 2 a.m. at this bar. Usually closing time, there'd be a bunch of regulars that stick around.
Time.
And there was a younger girl that was a regular, and she was with this older guy. And we all kind of like back in the kitchen, we're like, what's the fucking deal with that? But whatever, it's
She
fine.
was really hot, right?
No, it was more like what's going on there? It seems a little weird. And then she explained that they had met online or whatever through an app, whatever. She ends up having the bar back escort her to her car because she doesn't want this guy to follow him or follow her. And then whatever, he gets kicked out of the bar, but there's 2 full untouched beers sitting at the bar, and me and the bar back go, you want one of those? I'll take one of those. We both chugged the beers before cleaning up
You
the
drugged
bar, and
yourself.
I drugged myself.
Those are basically
He
that
was
trash
trying
food
to
that you were
drug
eating.
her.
Wow.
That got
She
thrown
kinda
away.
she got wind of it somehow, or just kind of had a feeling. That's when she left, had the bar back escort her to her car. He stuck around for a little while, started to get very furious that she was missing. And then when we kicked him out, there's still these 2 drinks just like that. I
Never drink the-
blasted off into a blast off that fucking psychedelics and shit have never fucking done before.
Really?
I was like, okay, Benji has a video of me on his phone where I'm just sitting like this for about a half an hour. Nobody can touch me. They're slapping me. They're doing all kinds of shit. In my
That
head,
sounds
though,
like heroin.
I was floating through outer space. I was talking to aliens. It was a very like tangible experience in my head. And then I kind of came to, and I just remember coming out of it being like, there was something in there. And I need to know what that is. But the next morning, I went to the hospital. They were able to determine that I was dosed with ketamine. I mean, again, I dosed myself. I drank a drugged drink. But I was really interested in it. So I did do a ketamine therapy because I thought, oh, there's something in here. And it didn't work. It was all bullshit. It was just fun.
Bummer.
I don't recommend it. But I tried it on accident once, thought I might like what that was trying to tell me, did it in a professional environment with a therapist, and it was not fun.
I wonder if that's just because you were dosed with so much versus what was a reasonable dose for you to take.
Yeah, that's true.
So you kind of like
I think I was
spoiled
still
yourself.
kind of, yeah. And I do remember in the therapy session, even though I was pretty fucking out there, I do remember being cognizant of like, I'm on drugs and somebody's watching me. You know, like,
Yes.
I gotta keep this
Oh.
cool. I gotta keep this cool. But I did not keep it cool. I drooled all over myself. It was they give you in the therapy session a fucking bib. Like a dentist bib, because you're just gonna go and drool all over yourself. It's fucking
Well,
gnarly.
that sounds fun.
Super fun.
My insurance covered it.
It didn't.
And rightfully not.
Anywho,
Bib treatment.
that's my experience with ketamine. So if Casey, you're responding to the ads and you think that it's going to work for you, I don't recommend it.
Special
Well,
Did you already do it?
No.
Try it.
Max, you've got to get your suggestions locked down. You're a dad, okay? You got to choose paths.
Nah.
You can't tell me not to do it and to do it.
Yeah, I give you the options and it's up for you to decide.
What?
Right? All I'm here to do is to give options.
But by give options, you mean say do it and say don't do it.
Yeah.
Max
Say
is your therapist now.
personally, I wouldn't do it, but also it must be working for people.
That's
because
like
they're making billions
Clippy
of
level
dollars.
AI. That's all I'm going to say, okay? It's not helpful.
Never claimed to be.
True. You didn't. You didn't start this by saying I've got a helpful story.
I asked if I'd told it before because I don't
Got a lesson
remember
for
because of the ketamine. It put holes
So
in
you did tell me you were drugged once. I didn't know it was because you drank beers that were essentially
Not
thrown
for
away.
me.
Yeah. And you also didn't describe the like fun. I mean, I say fun, but you know, the
It was
cerebral
incredible.
part of it.
I think back to it probably once a week, honestly. Like the
You're longing for your experience of drinking trash beer and going.
yeah, but it's
space.
a dragon I'll never catch. It's a dragon
I
I'll
guess
never
so.
catch.
But some dragons just aren't. I don't think they're meant to be domesticated. You know what I mean? You need a fucking big
all
saddle,
dragons.
first of all.
All dragons.
I don't think. I mean, I saw Game of Thrones, didn't believe any of it. You know,
Yeah.
not a documentary.
The
It's
real
history.
dragon world is more of like how to tame your dragon. The dream
All
world.
right. All right.
Let's
That's
hear it.
more like
Let's
what
hear it.
Dragons are like
How do you tame your dragon, Nick?
with beef sticks.
What?
That's as good as answer as any. To be honest,
Fuck.
I'm fine with that. I accept that.
Yeah,
There's
step
an
into a Slim Jim, dude. Train your dragon.
That's
Oh, you're doing an ad?
How
That's
to
fine.
train
Are we getting paid for this?
not yet.
Yeah, Slim Jim
Yeah.
is not a sponsor. But you know who is a sponsor? Umbrellas. Stay cool, stay dry.
It's
We
a
can
bit.
just-
Take
we'll
the
just let him
umbrella.
take a couple minutes. Blow
Yeah.
off some steam here. He hasn't been talking much.
But he prepared this umbrellas ad very early on.
Wait. Wait, hold on. I have to ask this just because it's a jet. Wait, just how many popsicles has Nick had so far?
This is number 4.
Jeez.
There's one of each flavor.
Also
So
fun.
So
I
it's
had-
an obsessive compulsive thing.
I had mango.
Gotta
and then
catch
I
'em all.
had,
Yeah. I'm not gonna only eat one.
I had mango. I had pineapple. I had tangerine, and this is lime.
That's gonna be the worst.
Which one's your favorite? Out of all?
The pineapple. Hands
Yeah.
down.
Do you like the lime that you're having now, or are you just going to finish it out of spite?
I like it, but I like the popsicle. See, it tweaks me even talking
The
about it.
whole thing.
I like
That's
the
good.
popsicles that are more like I exaggerate to clarify, but like fruit leather versus
Jesus Christ.
versus
What are you talking
a
about?
Fruit by the foot.
What are
Fruit
you
bite.
talking about? Fruit leather popsicle.
just saying, like when you bite
There we
into
go.
it, it's more like a smoothie, fruity consistency, and less of a ice.
You like more texture.
Yes, and so
Gotcha.
I feel like the pineapple has the most substance, the most bits in it.
Okay.
And then mango kind of does that as well. The tangerine and the lime do not. They kind of get soft, like ice, soft, slushy kind of consistency, but not. Anyways, yes. That's
No,
why.
please go on.
Well,
What
same
other
thing I have for ice
consistencies
cream.
exist?
The ice cream and the drumsticks in those ice cream cones that are chocolate coated
Yeah,
Ice
what about it?
is shit.
No,
But
it's not.
the cone and the chocolate is fine. It's great.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream is superior to that drumstick ice cream, I think.
Well, sure, but
that's
it's got a
fine.
whole
I mean, yeah.
Can't
it's got a
have
whole
both.
delivery system.
Yeah,
know what I
well,
mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
It's like a
What melts
you know,
If
you
the
leave
ice
out,
cream in drumsticks was shit, was awful ice cream, I don't think they would do well. I don't think they would
Well,
do well.
What about a
It's like-
cornetto, though?
a lot of other companies' waffle cones get weird or soggy, and drumstick consistently has the crispiest ones, and they're delicious.
I don't want a crispy one, though, because then it breaks off in parts you don't want, and then there's ice cream exposed that
No,
could melt.
This doesn't do that.
I mean, honestly,
I'm with
I
Nick
like a
on this.
chewy
I'm gonna
waffle
say-
cone.
I don't
I
want
like a chewy one.
a drum. I don't want it in a cone. First of all, I prefer a bowl. I'm just gonna put that out there. I think a cone is so stressful because
There's a time implication.
I think
your
that's what I
hand
mean.
is a heat source,
Yes.
and you're holding frozen milk, and you're just no one gets any time to enjoy themselves. You're rushing, getting brain freeze just so it doesn't drip all over you. Because
So-
when you were a kid, you would let it, and you'd pretend that you didn't hate being sticky. But you're
I'm
an
on
adult.
both.
I hate being sticky.
I'm on both sides of this because I generally just go with a bowl. Same. And I mean, you guys know me.
You
And
can put whatever the hell
taste.
you want in it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it going somewhere. But
That's the nature of a bowl.
exactly. The drumstick cone is delicious. I don't disagree with this, but calling the ice cream shit is unfair because it's like obviously a filet mignon steak is better than like most carne asada tacos, but you can only really walk around with one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get to eat that portable portion of it.
You're
So-
saying that the drumstick ice cream is the street taco carne asada.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the great gelato or something you get in a
In the
bowl.
sky.
They could sit down.
Oh.
Yes, of course, the great gelato. The great gelato in the sky. Yeah, you just chill. That's a quality thing. You take your time. You really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you know, the taco's great too. It's just different.
Now, what about a Choco Taco versus a drumstick?
I take
I
a choco
personally-
taco.
I would take a Choco Taco.
Chocolate
Same.
taco.
Yeah.
Oh, chocolate
are
taco
softer,
or
so,
strawberry
Nick-
shortcake on a stick.
Well, that's a
no,
whole
Choco
fucking other
Taco,
thing. You
Choco
don't have a yeah. But Nick, so what you're shaking your head at Choco Taco? I'm assuming it's because the taco is soft.
Yes, it is.
So texture over anything.
That is correct, Rob. I am not a fan of chewy taco.
Yeah, seriously, chewy.
You got that right, Rob.
You don't like it all spitting out the end when you try to bite in? You don't like the
No.
like full
I
viper
don't
feeling?
understand why anyone says they like messy food at all. in
Yeah, I
any
agree
context.
with you 100%.
I saw something, I think it was like on
Wings.
Love Island or
Wings.
something like that, and someone was saying how if you can have the same meal of wings, but it wasn't messy,
Yeah, you just need a
Boneless
fork.
and it's bullshit.
if that's the only difference.
No, like
between
imagine
those
someone
two,
cut all the meat off. It's
I'm-
just in a plate.
It doesn't even matter. Let's just say you could have two experiences, both with the exact same boneless wings at the exact same point in your life, or bone-in wings, if one of those meals miraculously was without the mess and the other was with it, there's no way that you'd come away looking at that data being like, I was happier with the mess.
I'm with you.
I was happier with the mess.
Why?
Because I like to bite into a fucking thing. I like to bite around a
You
bone.
still get to
Missing
bite it.
You're missing
No,
the
but I like
point.
to. No, I like to feel my teeth against the
A
bone.
mess would be that around you is just a ton of chicken and bones and mess and sauce on your clothes. That's the difference. Not that you don't get to bite them.
No, but bite around the bone. I like to
That's
peel
not a
meat
mess.
off
That's-
of a bone.
Why do you synonymize that with mess?
Because I think at that point you're gripping a saucy chicken wing, and you have to.
But
get it.
but that isn't the enjoyable part of it.
No, but it's part of it.
I'm just gonna respectfully disagree.
I have a
Nick's got
You're
some.
allowed.
fantasy about a
What?
Hey, hold on.
I
You have
have
a fantasy?
I'd like to pepper into the
I
Okay.
haven't done it yet.
Okay.
It's not a
Not sexual.
fantasy, it's just
Yeah.
a fantasy.
I have a mildly sexual fantasy I'd like to
Yeah.
drop on you all right now.
No.
Maybe it could sway the
Have
wing
like
talk.
let's say like a cherry pie, like very berry pie, and a apple pie, and then I'm just going at each one with my hands and like shoving it into my face, and
This
maybe
is a
like,
fantasy?
yeah, and maybe even grabbing like a
I
little
like-
bit of ice cream out of a container with my hands and just like mashing that on top of it.
Nick,
If
you
I
could
have
do
no
this
hair-
whenever you want.
I know, but it's
Do
it's
it in the
inhuman.
bathtub.
It's inhuman, so I haven't done it yet, but I do think that messiness is part of the appeal. So depending on the scenario,
I don't understand you people.
you know,
Like,
The only
is.
thing
Yeah.
that I've had communicated to me that the
What do
mess
you mean by
or
you
lack
people?
you know exactly what I mean. You know what I mean. Food
Oh.
people.
Phil Christie.
Messy.
the mess or lack of mess wasn't really the important part of this, but I had someone tell me that they like eating wings and that they like eating like lobster and stuff like that because they actually like the primal physicality of it, of actually holding, and this is kind of what you're saying, Max, of like actually holding a thing and pulling it apart and like doing the work. Basically, it's a tactile experience for them. So it's like mess or no mess doesn't necessarily enter into it, but yeah, Casey, I'm with you. That like if I could just have a thing with, it's like when people order a fucking rack of ribs, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
This is crazy.
Why do you
You're
want
making
this?
a crazy
This is
decision
insane.
at a place where you know the barbecue serves it wet. You know it's coming out slathered in sauce.
You ever seen how I can rip through a rack of ribs?
I see
got a
you
technique.
prepare it like a fucking serial killer. That's what I see. The first time when he came out and visited, it might have been the second time he visited out when I was living in
We went to that
Rhode
Texas
Island,
Roadhouse
and we went
or
to
whatever?
the Texas Roadhouse, and I feel like I was looking this way for like maybe a minute and a half, and you had ordered ribs. And then I looked back at your plate, and it was like completely deboned, just a very organized mound of rib meat next to cleaned, organized bones.
Yeah, it's a
And it was
technique.
like, what are you doing there, guy? He's like, what do you mean? Now I can eat them all.
Well, hold on. So, but you pull it apart or you fork and knife it? Because if for
No,
some
no,
reason
you-
I
So when you get a rack of ribs, there's gonna be
don't
That
say
really
this like
is-
it's objective.
That really
don't
is
win
proof
it
that
when
you
I
do
get it
like
right.
it messy, because then you proceeded to eat it with your hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you get a rack of ribs,
Perfectly ready bunch of pulled rib meat, ready to be forked. No, not for Mac.
Okay.
no. Well, no,
So-
they're assuming that you're gonna cut each
I'm
rib
just saying,
individually,
that's
and they're
evidence
assuming that
in,
you're gonna.
that
Yeah.
supports.
I'm
your
a messy guy.
self-report of messiness. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're out of stuff to say.
All right, that's one way to put it.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night. It's good
Peace
talking to
be
you.
with you.